It's difficult to know where to start in a city that is so rich in monuments to Christian and ancient culture. Of course, your individual interests will determine your choices, but there are some locations that, like the Colosseum and the Pantheon, are virtually required landmarks of Italy and top tourist destinations worldwide. Even the most dedicated tourist should take some time to relax and indulge in la dolce vita in a park or sidewalk café because Rome is so huge that it can be overwhelming. With the help of this helpful list of Rome's greatest attractions, you can decide which locations to visit. Number 1. The Colosseum. As the Eiffel Tower is to Paris, the silhouette of the Flavian Amphitheater is to Rome. The largest structure left to us by Roman antiquity, the Colosseum still provides the model for sports arenas. Present-day football stadium design is clearly based on this oval Roman plan. The building was begun by Vespasian in AD 72, and after his son Titus enlarged it by adding the fourth story, it was inaugurated in the year AD 80 with a series of splendid games. The Colosseum was large enough for theatrical performances, festivals, circuses, or games, which the imperial court and high officials watched from the lowest level, aristocratic Roman families on the second, the populace on the third and fourth. Number 2. Vatican City. The Vatican is the smallest independent state in the world, with an area of less than half a square kilometer, most of it enclosed by the Vatican walls. Inside are the Vatican Palace and Gardens, St. Peter's Basilica, and St. Peter's Square, an area ruled by the Pope, supreme head of the Roman Catholic Church. This compact space offers a lot of things to see. Between its museums and the Great Basilica itself and the Vatican Palace are the Raphael Rooms, the Borgia Apartments, the Vatican Library, and a number of museums that include the Picture Gallery, Museum of Secular Art, Etruscan Museum, and others. The collections you can see in these cover everything from papal coaches to 20th century art reflecting religious themes. Number 3. The Pantheon. The Pantheon, the best preserved monument of Roman antiquity, is remarkably intact for its 2,000 years. This is despite the fact that Pope Gregory III removed the gilded bronze roof tiles, and Pope Urban VIII ordered its bronze roof stripped and melted down to cast the canopy over the altar in St. Peter's, and cannons for Castel Sant'Angelo. The Pantheon was rebuilt after damage by fire in AD 80, and the resulting brickwork shows the extraordinarily high technical mastery of Roman builders. Its 43-meter dome, the supreme achievement of Roman interior architecture, hangs suspended without visible supports. These are well hidden inside the walls, and its 9-meter central opening is the building's only light source. Number 4. Roman Forum. Walking through the Forum, now in the middle of a throbbing modern city, is like stepping back 2 millennia into the heart of ancient Rome. Although what survives of this center of Roman life and government shows only a small fraction of its original splendor, the standing and fallen columns, its triumphal arches, and remains of its walls still impress, especially when you consider that for centuries, the history of the Forum was the history of the Roman Empire and of the Western world. Number 5. Trevi Fountain. One of the city's most popular tourist attractions, this 17th century masterpiece has been immortalized in films until it is almost a required visit. Throwing a coin into the Trevi Fountain is a tradition that is supposed to assure your return to Rome. Rome's largest fountain, Fontana di Trevi, is supplied by an aqueduct originally constructed by Agrippa, the great art patron of the 1st century BC, to bring water to his baths. The fountain was created for Pope Clement XII between 1732 and 1751 by Niccolò Salvi, and built against the rear wall of the Palace of the Dukes of Poli. Number 6. Piazza Navona. One of Rome's most characteristic Baroque squares, Piazza Navona still has the outline of the Roman stadium built here by Emperor Domitian. It was still used for festivals and horse races during the Middle Ages, and was rebuilt in the Baroque style by Borromini, who also designed the magnificent series of palaces and the Church of Sant'Agnes, on its west side. The 2 other fountains in the square are the 16th century Fontana del Moro in front of the Palazzo Pamphili, erected by Giacomo della Porta, and the 19th century Fontana del Nettuno with its figure of Neptune. Today, the square is filled with Romans, tourists, street artists, souvenir kiosks, cafes, and during December, one of Rome's best Christmas markets. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you next time.